Hi everyone! So today we're going to be going over a lesson on how to create one of these starry sky snowy snow globe paintings. So first let's gather our materials. You're going to need marker paper, crayola markers or any other kind of washable marker, a napkin or paper towel, a pencil, a Sharpie, one that has the broad tip and the super fine tip, a white gel pen, a water brush or paintbrush, and something to draw a circle with, either a compass or a cup. You'll see me using a compass here, but it's okay if you don't have one. Any sort of coffee mug or cup in your house you can use just to trace the circle. So first we're going to get out a piece of paper and draw our circle, either with the compass or tracing a cup, and this is going to form the globe portion of our snow globe. So then with your pencil, you're going to come down to the bottom of the circle and draw a line straight across, 2 lines down, and then connect them to form this kind of long rectangle. From there, you're going to draw 2 slightly diagonal lines and then connect them with a slight curved line. So this is forming the base of our snow globe. Now you're going to take your pencil and follow the same curve that we drew with either your compass or your coffee mug, and you're going to draw a circle that sits just slightly inside of the first circle that we drew. And this is to kind of create the lip of the glass. When you look at a snow globe, the way that the glass looks, you kind of see the edge of it, and so that's just what we're creating here. So next you're going to come across the bottom, and this is going to vary depending on what image you want to put inside of your snow globe. Your example sheet has a bunch of different ideas. You can do anything you want. You don't have to stick to the ideas that I provided. In this case, I'm doing the snowman option. So I drew the landscape first at the bottom, and I added in the 3 circles that are stacked together to form the snowman's body. I'm now adding in his hat, his little arms, and some dots for his buttons. So we're now going to take the Sharpie, and you'll see that there's 2 ends on this one. I'm going to be using the super fine tip. I like to have both options just so you get the different line thicknesses. A lot of times I will trace the outside of my piece in the thicker Sharpie end, but for now we're going to start with the thinnest end, and you're going to trace over all of the lines that you just drew in pencil. And again, you don't have to follow exactly the design that I'm doing. In this case, I just wanted to do a super simple snowman, but you could do a house, a cabin in the woods, a campsite, mountain range, maybe your house, maybe if you wanted to add Santa flying across the sky. There's so many different options that you can use to get creative with the design that you put inside of your snow globe. So if you are following along with me and drawing the snowman, you'll see that I go back in with a pencil to make sure that the placement of my eyes and carrot nose are correct before I draw them back in with Sharpie. The final step is to erase all of your pencil lines so that there's no pencil on this anymore before we go to add the marker. So now you want to grab your markers, and again, these don't necessarily need to be the Crayola markers, they just need to be water-based markers. So even if they're not Crayola brand, as long as they are water-based, it is totally fine to use for this. I've chosen 3 colors, the green, blue, and purple, but again, these are your pieces. I want you guys to have fun with them, make them your own. So you can pick any combination of colors. I would stick with no more than 2 to 4 colors. So once you've selected your colors, you're going to pick your first one and start adding it in to the lowermost layer of your snow globe. Once you've done that, you're going to take your second color and do the same thing, bringing it close to the design that you drew in, but making sure not to color into the design, especially if you did, like me, a snowman. Snow is going to be white, so you don't want the color to end up inside of there. So I'll now grab my third and final color and fill in the rest of the space at the top. And again, if you chose only 2 colors, just make sure you fill all of your sky area with those 2 colors. If you chose 4 colors, just make sure to leave a little bit more space so that you have enough room to put all 4 colors in there. So once you've colored in everything with the colors that you chose for your sky, we're going to grab our water brush and a paper towel or just some sort of napkin so that you can blot your excess color over onto. And so we're going to take this and squeeze some water out and start to paint the water over the marker. And essentially what this is doing is, since the markers are water-based, adding water to it is going to reactivate the pigment. So all we're doing is just brushing water over the color, and it will force the color to lift back up into that water and blend together. So I'm just continuing to paint the water over, and you'll see the color starting to move. Some of that blue is picking up and it's moving into the purple areas. And this is what we want, because we're trying to create this sort of seamless gradient across the sky. So you want to see those colors start to move around a little bit and blend together. And so we'll just continue being really careful along the edges of our snowman or whatever design you chose to do, so that you aren't getting that color in the spaces that are supposed to stay white. And just continuing. And sometimes you'll start to notice that your brush will naturally pick up a lot of the color from those markers. And so that's what your paper towel or your cloth rag to the side is for, is to just help you kind of get some of that excess off, because if there's too much marker pigment on your brush, it'll just start to muddy it a little too much. So just make sure you're kind of paying attention and maybe every so often just brushing it off like you saw me do a minute ago. Just continuing to blend, and then once we're done, we're going to leave it to dry for a little bit. So once our sky is fully dried, we're going to grab our white gel pen and add in some of the snowflakes in the sky. These could also be stars if you want them to be stars. I sort of like that it could either be stars or snowflakes. In this case, because I did a snowman and it is a snow globe, I was thinking of them as snowflakes. And that's it. You've now created your very own snow globe painting. Thanks so much for joining me to create this activity. I hope you had fun.